When it comes to asking or needing mercy, do we simply gently ask, maybe add an innocent please at the end of our request? Or would one campaign, lay siege to someone? Would you grab someone and shake them and demand mercy? Which way would you do it? Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10 Minute Torah, day number 1, the Torah portion, V'Echanan. We are in Deuteronomy, Devarim, chapter number 3, and we're going to begin reading today with verse number 23. Moshe is speaking. He is in his first discourse or long speech to Israel. And he says, "And I pleaded with Yahweh at that time, saying, O Master Yahweh, you have begun," another translation says, "you have just begun, to show your servant your greatness and your strong hand. For who is a mighty one in the heavens or on earth who does according to your works and according to your might? I pray, let me pass over and see the good land beyond the Jordan, this good hill country in Lebanon." But Yahweh was enraged with me for your sake and would not listen to me. And Yahweh said to me, "Enough of that. Speak no more to me about this matter." What an interesting prayer conversation between Moshe and Yahweh. And there is so much to be gleaned. I don't know if we'll get this done in this first segment or not, but let's try. The opening word here and the title of this Torah portion is V'Echanan. It's 3 parts to this word. There is the first letter, which is the Hebrew Vav, very similar to our English letter V. And it is Vav meaning and. A Vav before a word typically means and. So it's and. Et. The next 2 letters is an Aleph Tav. As I've described this earlier in other portions, an Aleph Tav has a language function here of a direct object indicator. So it sounds a little confusing, but this is the way it works. When you see the Aleph Tav, what follows is what the object or the subject of the text is doing. It indicates the action that is being acted upon. And so the following word, Canaan, we would transliterate that C-H-A-N-A-N, Canaan. Canaan is the idea of inclining, besieging. It is to implore, to lay siege to a place. And so it is, the idea is overall, as it's translated, I pleaded, I laid siege to the heart of Yah, I encamped toward his heart. What's interesting here is the Aleph Tav, as it is used in many places, not always, but many places, is a reference to Messiah, Yeshua. In the book of Revelation, chapter number 1, the way the King James and other English translations are translated, Yeshua says, "I am the Alpha and the Omega." Well, that would be the case if he were the Messiah of the Greeks or the Gentiles. Yeshua, what I do not believe, was addressing a fellow Hebrew, John or Yochanan, who would speak Hebrew and talk to him in Greek. That doesn't make any sense. If, and I believe this is indeed the case, he was addressing Yochanan, John, in Hebrew, he would have said, "I am the Aleph and the Tav," the Aleph Tav. And so he is indeed the Aleph Tav. It is referenced rabbinically many times that the Mashiach is indeed the Aleph Tav. Here then, it is an idea that Moshe, through Mashiach Yeshua, is asking for mercy, for favor, for Yah's heart to be inclined favorably toward him. And again, the word chanan, it's to incline, besiege, or encamp. The idea is to pitch one's tent against one, saying, I'm going to be right here and I'm going to stay right here until you grant me my need. And even though it was Moshe, now think about who's asking. This is Moshe. Moshe is the one that Yah has spoken to at a burning bush. He is the one that has been closer in the presence of the Father than anyone else born to women at this time. Moshe is the one who comes back with not peeps and mutters of the Spirit, saying, I think I heard, and it seems to me I see an image of, but he came back in exacting detail, speaking word for word, verbatim, what Yah has said. There's not been another prophet like him, not until Yeshua. So Moshe is the one that Yah will listen to instead of destroying a nation. He has stood between Yah's wrath, judgment, and anger in Israel on multiple occasions and deferred and turned back Yah's anger, and Israel received mercy instead. Now he's not asking for Israel, he's asking for himself. And Yah simply says, no. Matter of fact, he says, don't even bring this subject up again. Never speak to me about this again. We're done talking about this, Moshe. The answer is no. With that, Moshe has then to resolve himself to the fact, I'm not going in. I'm done. He could very easily look at Israel and say, and it's all your fault. You're the one that provoked me and pushed me so hard that I messed up. And he could have walked in resentment and in anger and a pout face for the rest of his life. But he chose not to. He who sought for mercy and for favor and was told no, in turn, did not bring about wrath and judgment on those that may have been at the root of his request. Instead, he showed mercy and favor to those that were the issue and the problem. I don't know that the word magnanimous is enough. I don't know that the word super gracious or the phrase super gracious is enough. Certainly in this case, he is demonstrating the heart of Yeshua to a great extent. Yeshua received no mercy when he went to the tree. Yah did not spare any of the lashes of the whip. Yah did not spare any of the pain of the thorns pressed into his head. Yah did not spare any spit on his face or any ridicule or public humiliation. And every one of the spikes driven into his flesh hurt every time the hammer pounded the spike in the nail. Yeshua endured the exhaustion, the extreme blood loss, the terrifying aspect of death to the fullest degree, knowing that someone else was to blame for all that he was enduring. And yet now he easily and willingly offers us mercy. Do we lay siege to him? Do we pitch our tent against him and demand and shake our fist, you will show me mercy or else? Or do we remember the price that was paid for the mercy that we have received thus far, and then walk as one who has been shown mercy, humbly and honorably toward the one who has given it to us? These are things to think about today. So as you have received mercy, show mercy and give it away. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, shalom.